Well. We've heard of this Netflix docuseries about the PGA Tour and and some players on the tour coming out. They're currently filming this as we speak. They're following certain players around, giving you a behind the scenes look at the lives of these guys on tour. It's not a new concept, but it's finally going to happen, and Netflix is doing this. It's going to be interesting because it's going to be a highly produced, well done docuseries of these guys' life. Personally, I think the guys involved, and I'll tell you who they are. Some of them. We've got, according to this is in Golf Digest, this month's issue, we have the names that have signed on have been Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, Victor Hovland, Xander Schauffele, Bubba Watson, Sergio Garcia. And notable players who are not participants in this are Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, Rory McIlroy, and Jon Rahm. And there's other personalities that are involved that have signed on, like Joel Damon and Harry Higgs. So, what does this mean? What's good and bad? All right. Why players sign on to this is beyond me. I don't know why they would do this. This is not something that I would do. Here's what I would do if I'm these guys. Because ultimately, I would want to be in control of my content. See, this is one of the big problems with the PGA Tour is that the PGA Tour owns the content. They own you. Every time you step on that PGA course for an event, they own every piece of content. So you can't bring your cameras into an event and do what you want to do. You can't do that. So, because that's the PGA Tour, they own those rights. That's what Phil Mickelson has a huge problem with this. And good thing, so he's not being a part of this. Tiger Woods likes his privacy. He's not going to be a part of it. Jon Rahm, don't know why he didn't want to be a part of it, but I'm glad he's not. Do I want to see behind the scenes Jon Rahm stuff? Of course. But I'm glad it's not on the Netflix thing. What about Rory? Rory didn't. No, good for you. These other guys that are a part of it, like Ricky Fowler, he was like the first guy to sign on to this. Unfortunately, he's kind of Mr. Irrelevant at the moment on the PGA Tour. So he's a popular player. We're going to get to see him kind of behind the scenes, but he's going to be behind the scenes. We're not going to get to see him on the leaderboard of the PGA Tour. We haven't. Recently, he's been just, he doesn't even qualify for a number of events. So that's going to be interesting to see that. Now, Bryson DeChambeau also has a YouTube channel where we get to see him behind the scenes. Who owns that content? Bryson DeChambeau owns that content, and the guys he's doing that content with. And so why would you then give that content to Netflix? I would not do that. I would say, hey, I want people to see me behind the scenes. I'm going to hire my crew and I'm going to produce my own YouTube style content because that is something I would own. I would own that as the player. I would have control over what is out there, what is not out there, what I want. And ultimately, all of that content, I would own that. I would be creating my own brand. I'm not helping build the brand of a Netflix or anybody else. And what's edited together is not in somebody else's control. These producers are going to tell a story. They're going to paint a picture. They're going to do things to create a story and a drama, a series that is exciting for a viewer that they want to reach. And I can see why Tiger didn't want that. He's like, no. Phil, of course not. Rory, okay, cool. But these other guys who want that, you have money, you have resources to have your own guys. YouTube is kind of very inexpensive to produce. You could bring your own camera and just have somebody edit your stuff for you. Like, why you give it to Netflix is beyond me. It seems like to me that these guys want more, let's say, in fame might be, I don't know the right word. They want more exposure to who they are and their brand, so they're letting Netflix promote that, when in reality, they're giving up all that control. Now, the PGA Tour seems to like this, and this really is kind of an opening of that can of worms as to why there will be competing leagues, because they're opening these floodgates to Netflix and these other avenues where only these super popular players and some, let's say, social media people who are pretty popular, like they're hot at the moment, like Harry Higgs, he's pretty popular on social media, and Joel Damon. And so it's going to incentivize guys on the tour to do things, to be invited to be part of these other projects such as Netflix. So then you're going to have, guys like Harry Higgs who rip their shirts off at the in Scottsdale and do stuff like that. Like, that is not PGA Tour, like, what do you call it? Professionalism. That's kind of below the belt humor that I don't think the tour appreciates. But these guys are going to do stuff like that. So they are invited to be part of these Netflix style docuseries like that. The NFL does this, right? With their training camp. HBO, they put these behind the scenes, hard knocks types of shows out there because people want to see it. The difference with like the NFL, it's a team. The NFL is producing this thing, whereas PGA Tour, they're all independent contractors. So why wouldn't you just do it on your own? And I'm telling you, these guys on the tour, they're going to start doing this stuff because they're going to want that type of control over their own media. And it's going to be interesting to see what the tour does with that, because the PGA Tour gave Netflix access to certain things and these players. But what happens when these players realize they can do it themselves for cheap, super cheap? Then all of a sudden, I think the tour has allowed this to happen through Netflix, and yet other guys like Bryson are doing that on their own also. So how do you now manage that? I guarantee you the tour is not going to want the PGA Tour players creating their own content like that without them having some type of say in it. Right now, the PGA Tour has say in this Netflix stuff. So again, they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot. One, the tour by allowing Netflix to do this. Two, the players by allowing Netflix to have control over them doing it. Just do it yourself. Do it. You're an independent contractor. Do it yourself. Get it out there on your own. I guarantee you, each person could have they would each have a different spin on their own creativity. But in reality, like, why are you doing that? Your job is to go win golf tournaments, to be the best player in the world. I think, if that's really truly what you want. Do you want to be a social media personality, or do you want to be a PGA Tour personality? Because these are two different things. You can't be both. You can't, juggle that ball. You can either go and say, dude, I want to win all the majors. So I'm going to grind and I'm going to put every ounce of energy and put the blinders on. Don't bother me, because I've got my sights set on being number one. Or do you want to be a personality star, a social media star? Because then you're not going to be the best golfer there is. And you should probably know where you're going to live. Okay? If it was me and I was on tour, I would say, don't bother me. I'm focused on my practice, my training, in and out. I want to win every tournament I'm at. Like that Tiger Woods mentality. Of course, that's why he's not doing it. Rory, you have to focus to be the best. And those who are doing this, they're not going to be the best. There's no way they can do both. And those people should jump over to the Live Golf Tour because they're going to make more money over here, and they could do both because there's a lot less competition over there and more money. So just go do that, be your social media personality, and you could kind of walk that line. But if you want to be the best PGA Tour player or the best player in the world, there's only one way to do it. Lock it down, focus in, make your world small and precise so that you can be the best each and every week. Let me know what you think. Comment below. Thanks so much. See you soon.